University of Lagos, Mrs. Victoria Apostle, with the Inflammation Plan. We also have the best of the university, Mrs. Philomena Yetunde Adokole Yamoso Plan. I also acknowledge the presence of the University Librarian, Professor Olatokunbo C. Okiki Yamoso Plan. And joining them on this table is we have the Director of the Academic Planning Unit, Professor Matthew Olusoji Lori Yamoso Plan. It's another having you on board, and on this note, we'd like to invite the media team to play the national anthem to kickstart the program. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We can all be seated. Once again, I'd like to warmly welcome each and every one of us to the 18th Unilag Annual Research Conference. Even at this time, we thank you for coming. We thank you for being participant at this event. And without much ado, I'd like to move on to the next item of the program of activities, and that is the introduction of our dignitaries and special guests who are here seated. And right on the list is our own the number one citizen in the University of Lagos. Permit me to warmly invite Professor Folashade T. Odoshola, FAS. Please, a warm applause as she steps up to the last table. Yeah. Please, people, let's keep clapping. The seat is here for you now. Also, at the same time, we have also witnessed the arrival of the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics and Research. Permit me to invite Professor Bola Opo. He went up as she steps on stage. Welcome. And we also have witnessed the arrival of the keynote speaker, Professor Ibrahim Adewaju. Let's give him a round of applause as he steps on board. We have in our midst the chairman of the Conference Planning Committee and the director of the Research Management Office of the University of Lagos. Let me invite Professor Solomon A. Okologa to come on stage. I'd like to let you know that we are also expecting among our dignitaries, ambassadors to the EU Commission, uh, who is here present. Uh, okay, thank you for the information. Okay, as the panel, we will recognize them. All right, moving on. We also, as I've said earlier, we have in our midst all of the University of Lagos principal officers who are new to this location. We also have here deans of faculties, deans of the School of Postgraduate Studies and the Student Affairs Division. Moving on, I'd like to say you're most welcome once again to this wonderful event, and I hope that you have a truly moment as we move along. Thank you so much. Without wasting much of our time, I'd like to move on to the welcome speech by the Chairman, Conference Planning Committee. I'd like to invite Professor Solomon Okologa for his welcome address. Thank you so much. Please clap for him.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos and the chief host of this 18th Unilag Research Conference, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, ONFAS, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and Research, Professor Obo, and the Chairman of the Central Research Committee, all the principal officers present at this moment, in this occasion, the keynote speaker. I want to use this opportunity to welcome all of us to the 18th Unilag Research Conference of the year 2025. It will be holding for 3 days, as it has been announced, and it's also coinciding and it's holding in the same week with the International Week of the University. And the event has kicked off since Monday. Hence, we have many international scholars on the campus presently, and they are also gracing this occasion. Participants will be discussing on AI matters, and the theme for this year is the future of work, education, and well-being in the AI age. We welcome all participants from international institutions, participants from many Nigerian universities and other higher institutions in Nigeria, all our new scholars, faculties, and researchers, all postgraduate students are also welcome. This conference will be quite engaging as we will be privileged to have discussion geared towards AI, beginning from the keynote speaker who will be opening the speech for us this morning. Next to the plenary speaker, then the panelists that have been put together on the roundtable for discussion on the same theme. In addition, we have 16 parallel sessions and poster sessions where we will be having engagement on this same topic or this same theme on the future of work, education, and well-being in the AI age. I want to use this opportunity, therefore, to encourage all the participants to take maximum advantage of this conference, which will offer a great knowledge to every one of us to advance our career and for us to be future-ready researchers up to date in whatever we are doing. So on this note, I also want to appreciate all our sponsors, and they will be duly acknowledged as we go along. On this note, I want to welcome all of us to the 18th Unilag Research Conference at University of Lagos starting this morning. You are welcome.
Good morning, distinguished guests. And in case you don't know, that was my boss. And I think he deserves a better round of applause. Just as he was giving his welcome speech, the European Union ambassador to Nigeria walked in. And may I respectfully ask His Excellency Gautia Migonot to please come up. It's not, he's still in the car, okay? Thank you. Okay. Now we move on to the welcome remarks by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and Research. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues, it's a great honor and it's a privilege to introduce to you this morning a distinguished leader and scholar who has played an integral role in advancing the academic and administrative excellence of this great university, the nation's pride and the university of first choice. She's a professor of genetics. Her vision and leadership are helping to chart a path towards an even brighter future for the university and the broader academic community. With great respect and admiration, I present to you the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos.
The Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, our keynote speaker, Professor Ibrahim Adeyanju, Chief Executive Officer, Galaxy Blackbone, members of management here present, the Registrar, the Bossa, University Librarian, Director Academic Planning, our distinguished guests from the EU, while we await the EU ambassador to Nigeria, with our distinguished delegates, deans of faculties here present, faculty, students, graduate students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather here at the start of the 18th Annual Research Conference at the University of Lagos with the theme, The Future of Work, Education, Well-being in the AI Age. The Unilag Research Conference and Fair has grown over the years with a few interruptions between the years 2020 and 2022 due to COVID and other issues of academia with government. Today, we are at the same crossroad on academia issues. However, our theme for this conference is very apt in shaping our future as academics by being more relevant and highly sought after, both within the walls and outside the walls of the university. This future of work, education, and well-being in the AI age will involve human-AI collaborations, with AI helping to handle repetitive tasks and boosting productivity. And I think the question at this point is, how does that help us with our work in research, teaching, and community service? And so, education will need to be reevaluated with priority given to creativity, problem solving, critical thinking skills, with a constant need for academia to adopt lifelong learning skills in order to stay relevant. Education will focus more on skills-based learning with a lot of integration of AI tools into learning and this will lead the adoption of both ethical and inclusive practices into our learning process. It is expected that this would also assist in improving our work-life balance. As time-consuming tasks, how do we make our scripts, can become easily automated, thereby reducing stress and burnout. There will be challenges, there will be risk, but the need for us academia to fully embrace this technology and use it for our growth and development is imperative. And those are some of the issues we will be discussing during this conference. At the university, priority is given to research. And since 1983, when the Central Research Committee of this university was established, the university has given over 1 billion naira as research grants through the Central Research Committee to researchers. This has gradually helped to improve capability and capacity of our faculty in research. It has helped them to build confidence, and they have been able to go for more national and international grants. And I think this step has also been confirmed by the Times Higher Education rankings for 2026, where not only were we rated first in Nigeria, but the breakdown shows that our research quality, we are also the best in Nigeria. And this is because over the years, our research has impacted on society in various areas, in policy development, community, change of practices, adoption of new technologies, product development, amongst many others. For this conference, we received a total of 208 abstracts, of which 177 were accepted. We will be having 112 oral presentations and 65 as posters. Also this year, prizes that were in the past established but became comatose are being reactivated. And so the best science researcher oral presentation for science and for humanities will not only receive a plaque, but will receive a sum of 250,000 naira. We will also, for the students, the best science will also receive a plaque where the student is a senior author in the paper and is confirmed you are a student. Will receive not only a plaque, but would also receive the sum of 100,000 naira. So as we go along in this conference, we hope that we would be better engineered to see how AI, which is already here with us, whether we like it or not, will shape the future of our work, will shape the future of our research, would shape the future of how we train our students, and will shape the future of our well-being. Once again, I welcome you all, and I thank you for listening. Thank you.
I think the plot was not enough. Let's give our another round of applause. We want to sincerely thank you for all that you did to ensure that this program becomes a success. And today we are recording a success story. Thank you so much. She, I always define her as the professor of simplicity. She takes it so simple that everyone can understand, that everyone can relate to it. Thank you so much. On that note, while she was delivering her speech, we want to witness the arrival of eminent guests we are from from all parts of the world. On this note, I'd like to, in no particular order, to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of ambassadors, captains of industries who are here seated. I'd like to really, as I've said earlier, in no particular order, I'd like to recognize Mr. Thomas Gassi, the First Secretary, Embassy of the Republic of Ireland. And most of please stand up for the recognition. Also, we have in our midst Michael Sivan, Head of Mission, Embassy of the Republic of Ireland. We also have in our midst Peter Linknet, Ambassador of Belgium in Nigeria. We also have James Bernardes, Economic and Commercial Counselor, Embassy of Sweden. We have in our midst Unilag Solomon, Deputy Head of Mission, Kingdom of the Netherlands. We also have in our midst Thomas Fakishitaki, I'm sorry. It's understanding, thank you so much. So that we don't listen together. Ambassador, Embassy, and Czech Republic. You're most welcome. It's an honor having you at this important occasion. You're most welcome. Also, while we have that, we also recognize the presence of the Director of Quality Assurance and Certificate Units, Professor Femi M. Shaibu. You're most welcome. We appreciate you for coming at this time. You also did what I work just recently, so I thank you for that. All right, moving on, we'd like to. Yes. We have a minimum of 1 minute, a maximum of 2 minutes, good message from our ambassadors who are seated. As I have said earlier, in no particular order, I'd like to invite Thomas Bessie, the First Secretary, Embassy of the Republic of Ireland, to read these good messages.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michał Cygan. I'm head of mission and designate of Poland. So I'll be taking the floor on behalf of both of us. My colleague Tomasz Gajs just mentioned and I'm very happy to be here. Allow me to extend my warm thanks, especially to the Vice Chancellor, Honorable Professor Folesabe Ugusola, and standing on the this protocol, allow me to say at first that I'm extremely happy to be here for the first time, not first time in Lagos, but in Unilag, an institution of well-established intellectual standing. And I share. I was thinking, what should I present as the as an introduction? As I understand that not just myself, but Poland as a country is very often in Nigeria as exotic or more exotic than Nigeria is in Poland. Although our relations go all the way back to since independence, I'm still facing the reality that we're very friendly, very open, but not as knowledgeable about each other as we should be, and one of my ambitions is to bring us closer and establish more intense network of cooperation between Poland and Nigeria, and especially in the academic circles between staff and students. Uh, but Poland is one of the largest now economies of the European Union, which owes its growth to human capital mostly. We have been, I'm surprised how often I see similarities between the Poland and Nigeria when I think about the last 3, 4 decades of development of Poland, when we have started to transform our economy from the communist system, from the uh, politically not market-driven economy and the society that was subject to political control to a free open system of liberal democracy and market economy. And all those who have gone this path know how much of a challenge it was for the society and for the institutions. We have gone through the same challenges and we have to answer to ourselves the same questions as I can see that Nigeria is now struggling with. Like how much to open the society, the economy to the outside world without too much risk to the fledgling industries, too much risk of the capital outflow instead of inflow, too much risk of brain drain. All these challenges Poland was facing, and we had to integrate ourselves with the European Union. We were asking ourselves the same questions: Is it worth this game? Is it worth it? Will our youth, our staff, they are brought to earn better wages instead of investing in the development of the country? Will the foreign investment come and take over our businesses or close down the businesses that perhaps would be a competition? So, in general, with the positive results of openness and integration, would they outweigh the negative consequences? Well, standing here in front of you, I can say it's easily verifiable at 2 clicks of a finger. You can you can verify that there was no country over the last 4 decades, save China, perhaps, very particular case after Maoist revolution, they rebounded, but would have grown over the last 4 decades more than Poland. When we started, we have been at, I would say, in 1989, probably at the level of 20% GDP with Germany, our closest developed neighbor at that time, and now we are at the 80% more or less of the German GDP per capita. That itself being a measure of success. And then I'm saying that to you, not to Poland, but to show that I do believe in the value of cooperation and integration and of free exchange, not just of capital, of movement of goods, of trade. This is by itself important, technologies. But more than anything, in the benefit of free exchange of people. Yeah, I'm being I don't speak too much about Poland. So, uh, to, to sum up, uh, I'm very much impressed with what I have seen so far during the several months in executing my duties in Nigeria. I've already linked with several institutions, academic institutions, uh, and I'm very happy and excited about this new opportunity that we have here. And my colleagues that will follow me will be more specific about what European Union as a whole and particular countries that already been doing review or with Nigerians. But I want to say proudly that Poland is part of this team to Europe, and we are very happy to explore and deepen cooperation between Nigeria, between Unilag and Poland and Polish academic institutions. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. We do not have the luxury of time. We would have loved to have you speak more on this. Okay. All right, moving on, I'd like to invite Peter Millet, the embassy of the Kingdom of Belgium in Nigeria, to say one or two things.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the professors, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, thank you very much for having us here from the Embassy of Belgium today at this research conference. And I can only say that AI is definitely inviting itself to everybody's table, to everybody's desk. And that's not just because of the little mojos now that we have to work with on our computers that make our work a little easier. It's also how it influences our bilateral relations and the kind of interactions we will have in the coming months between our countries. And as it happens, we have now a number of Belgian startups that have asked us to get into contact with government and private sector here. And over the last few months, I'd say it's more than half of these companies and startups that have one or another link or an application related to artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence will, of course, help societies like ours in Europe coping with declining demographics in order to remain productive and remain thriving as societies with, over time, less and less people. And in Nigeria, it can, of course, if you look at the labor force that is already quite abundant, be considered as a threat, but it's also, AI is going to be a big lever for all kind of developmental solutions. And I'll just give you two examples of companies from Belgium that have spearheaded AI solutions specifically with Nigeria in mind. One is one that I discussed recently with the Minister of Livestock, and which brings together very nicely the old and the new world, so to speak. So Nigeria has a national animal identification and traceability system, which allows to identify animals. But now there's a Belgian startup that has a specific application through which, with artificial intelligence and with just one headshot of an animal, that can flawlessly and unmistakably identify that animal. So basically what they do is facial recognition of cows, of goats, and also of the cattle owner. And so the idea is to link the owner with his animals so that you can also start using livestock as a collateral in the credit context. But you can also use that same tool in the context of conflict, when there's been cattle rustling and the animals go astray. In order to link them back with the rightful owner, that tool can also be of very great help. So this is a very tangible application of how AI can solve a few long-standing, intractable issues in a country like Nigeria and even at the level of a whole nation. On the other hand, we also had a startup that will, by the way, travel to Nigeria in a few weeks that uses AI and big data in order to make maps on the spread of diseases, medical cartography, which also helps them, of course, to be in time to react, to prevent, and to remedy any health crisis. So these are just a few examples from the top of our mind of things that have come to my attention, and of companies that want to link up with Nigeria. And needless to say, these are tools that should also then that will probably find spin-offs and local applications, and where also academics in Nigeria itself can benefit from and can interact with. So I wish you a very good conference, and I'm hoping to also listen a lot from what I hear today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate your presence and most of your good messages. We'd like to let you know that we do not have that luxury of time, and we want to extremely stream down the good messages to just 1 minute to ensure that we capture this moment as it unfolds. Moving on, I'd like to invite Jose Benados, the Economic and Commercial Councilor, Embassy of Spain.
Thank you. I promise I will be short. It's a real pleasure to be here with you all. Nigeria and Spain, we are huge trade partners, something that not many people know, especially in terms of imports. What we are trying to do is also to foster the presence of Spanish companies in this beautiful country. For that, we are also trying to change a little bit the current narrative and trying to give all the real information about the present of Nigeria. A lot of challenges, but still a lot on the right side. A lot of people like you all trying to do outstanding things. The work that you are doing at the University of Lagos, especially in terms of research, is that what this country needs? Is that what we all expect, those who want to partner with Nigeria in the future? So I wish you all the best for this conference. And I avail myself, the Embassy of Spain, and absolutely our ambassador, who is unfortunately today out of the country on duty, for anything that you might require from us. Good luck and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate your good message. Moving on, while we're having the good messages, we witness the arrival of one of our eminent guests. Permit me to invite to this side of the program the EU ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Magnus Garcia, to please step on stage to speak beside our noble Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. Also, at this time, we appreciate you. And we appreciate the encouraging attempt with you. All of you are most welcome. We do appreciate your presence. Thank you. Okay, moving on. As we have said, we have control of time, but we, as much as possible, acknowledge all of our ambassadors who are here present. Let me also invite, within a short minute, I mean 1 minute, before 1 minute, I don't have to put it, for 1 minute maximum. Unilag, Simon, the Deputy Education, Hilton, Organize.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much. Well, if you give the diplomat the floor, 1 minute is actually quite flexible. So I'll try to do my best. No, I will be very, very brief. The Netherlands and Nigeria, of course, go way back to the early 1960s and have ever been one of the biggest investors in this country and one of the largest export destinations for Nigerian products. And obviously, over time and now with AI, things are changing. Things are becoming more automated. Just yesterday, for instance, I visited one of the largest shrimp companies. It's a joint Nigerian-Dutch initiative here with 74 boats, and AI in their business plays a major role. It actually helps protecting the 5-mile zone where artisanal shrimp fishers can operate, and it prevents those boats from going into that zone. So there you see big advantages of the use of AI. Thank you. And it protects, for instance, the whole shrimping business to not overfish, because AI measures exactly where I can go and where I can't go. Another domain, and the Netherlands is very eminent in that. Currently, the Netherlands has drafted a resolution for the United Nations. It's a recurrent resolution on the use of AI in the military domain. And obviously, AI can be an extremely dangerous tool in the military domain, and we need to have rules and regulations and in place for that, an international agreement in that. Nigeria is one of the supporters of this resolution because the Nigerian government very much understands the importance of this. So also there is a good form of cooperation and understanding of this tool needed. And with that, of course, science comes into the picture. We need science to make us understand what we can do and can't do. So thank you all very much, and very much looking forward to our future cooperation. 1 minute.
You will agree with me that this conference is truly international. We have a number of ambassadors here present. We do very much appreciate your presence, and we are indeed very glad that you are here with us. I also, last but not the least, on the list of our ambassadors who are here to grace our occasion, I'd like to invite Thomas Filipusiti. You may understand the house so that let's keep that heart.
Yeah, thank you, Alois. I'm used to that. I wasn't born with like a practical last name for working in diplomacy. But good morning, and give me 40 seconds. I'll just keep my good message to only one because as a diplomat, I know close to nothing about nothing. So the only message that, and it's rather personal, is that it's extremely inspiring and optimistic to see this for all return of like researchers and young people and scientists, because actually to put it simple, like you and scientists and science and research make a better today and even better future of this country. So congratulations on this conference, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you. We will now use to 40 seconds. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. God bless you. All right. We have also witnessed the arrival of the EU ambassador to Nigeria, who is also going to be tapping up all of the good messages that we've heard from all our ambassadors. I want to warmly invite Ambassador Midlat Gunter to give us a good message.
Mrs. Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, first an apology for coming a little bit late. I think we should rely more on AI for our mapping and our itineraries, and less our drivers. But that's okay. I will not enter into details. Very glad to be here with you today, together with 10 of our member states, ambassadors and representatives. Out of the 27 member states that compose the European Union, 19 have embassies in Abuja, and so 10 of them are with us today, apart from the EU delegation. So a very large group representing this European Union of 450 million inhabitants, and a union which is acting more and more together. A union based on values, on human rights, democracy, rule of law, very much committed with the protection of the planet and of facing global challenges, in particular climate change and biodiversity loss. This is what we call the European Green Deal, which has been our compass since 2019, aligning all our policies to make them coherent with these objectives of fighting climate change, adapting to climate change, and fighting the loss of biodiversity and shortage of natural resources. And we have also a global cooperation strategy to help our partners perform the same triple transition that we are trying to perform in Europe, the green, digital, and inclusive transition. And this strategy is called the Global Gateway Investment Strategy. And we are working very much with the member states and with our development banks, the European Investment Bank, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, which is starting operations in Nigeria and based in Lagos now. We are forming what we call Team Europe all together.
And we work also hand in hand with the private sector to leverage private investment and using different kind of financial instruments, grants, loans, and blending also loans and grants to have more impact. Because we were founded on a cooperative model. The European Union was founded after 2 world wars because we realized that we would be stronger together. And so we try to export this model of cooperation because we think that this is the solution to global challenges today. And this in particular applies to science. We believe very much in science-based decisions. Of course, all kinds of science are important, also human science, not only hard sciences, as they say. And we want to apply this model of cooperation to science and research because we know that research is most efficient when it's universal, when it's international. It's not efficient when it has to bump into borders, when national science is a narrow concept. And so this is why our big package of support to research, the Horizon Europe program, almost 1 billion euros between 2021 and 2027, is a very much international-minded program. And this Horizon Europe program funds research teams and research projects from all over the world. And there are, as you know, many Nigerian teams that are also benefiting from them, or Nigerian researchers in international teams. And we think we can do more, and we want to do more and have more Nigerian researchers benefiting from this. And we also have mobility opportunities. We have our Euraccess platform, which is providing all the information on the mobility opportunities for researchers and scientists in Europe. And this is, of course, on top of all our effort towards the academic sector as a whole through the Erasmus Plus program, which you have certainly heard of. And one good news that we received last week from Brussels is that the European Commission proposed to our member states to open the negotiation with Nigeria of a science, technology, and innovation agreement. And we know that the Nigerian federal government is also willing to do this. And so we hope that next year, perhaps we will have an agreement between the EU and Nigeria, like the one we've had already with South Africa for many years. So I think this will also help to foster our cooperation in research. This is a very varied agenda. We have during the 3-day visit here in Lagos, we will attend tomorrow an event you might have heard of, the Moonshot event on the digital and creative economy, which is also EU sponsored. We will launch on Friday also a very important project under our Global Gateway strategy, which might help us perhaps in the future not to come late at this sort of event. It is about funding electric waterways transport system in Lagos. So that you can go more quickly from one point to the other through the sea, the water, and not to be stuck in traffic jams. So it's 410 million euros investment with France and the European Union in a few years' time to have this network in place. It's called the OMI Eco project. Those who understand Yoruba will translate easily. Voilà, I will not dwell on artificial intelligence, first because my colleagues have already mentioned a lot of ideas and information on this, and also because I know that yesterday our head of cooperation, Massimo Delica, came here at Unilag and also delivered a conference on this. I want just to insist on the fact that for the EU, it is key, our key objective is a human-centric digital transformation. And this applies also to artificial intelligence.
we need to make sure that these tools are put at the service of humanity as a whole, and not at the service of a few human beings, if you see what I mean. And so for this, we have to push many international actors, many countries in the same direction. And for us, the partnership with Nigeria is also key as a very big actor in the digital economy for the future. So thank you very much for having us today, and best of success for this 18th Unilag Annual Research Conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Immediately he said that the partnership with the Lagos State government that is going to alleviate traffic jams in Lagos State. I knew that he had actually lived in Lagos State for some period of time. So we want to appreciate all our ambassadors, and we look forward to more partnership and collaborations with us in Lagos State, the country, Nigeria, and of course the University of Lagos. We really appreciate your presence and we're highly honored. Could we give them all another round of applause? Some years back, I met a woman in an event just like this. I was one of the organizers of the event, and so she came in on time. We didn't start on time, but she came in. And so I sat with her just to keep her company. And we talked. I admired her a lot. And something kept telling me, get her details, get her contact. This woman is going to be great. You need to know her. But yet, the other side of me kept telling me, don't do that. After you meet somebody for the first time, and then it seems as if you know what I'm trying to say. And so the pride in me did not allow me to do that day. Some years after, about 2 years after, she became the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. Why am I saying this? You don't know who the person seated next to you will be. Tomorrow, this is an opportunity. Get their contacts. It's a time to network. Do not lose that opportunity. We have in our midst this morning a first among equals. We refer to the University of Lagos as the nation's pride, but we refer to her as the University of Lagos pride. She's a visionary leader par excellence, first in many dimensions, too numerous to mention. But one thing stands out. She is the first female vice chancellor of the University of Lagos. A woman of poise and honor. She is a rare gem. I want to be like her when I grow up. She is none other than the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, and she's coming up to do these two things. She is going to give us the opening speech and also to declare this annual conference open. With great pleasure, I invite the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. Today, I'm going to take a photo.
Your Excellency, the EU ambassador, and I'm going to pronounce your name properly, Ambassador Gautier Migo. Did I get it right? Or I tried? I will not attempt the other names, but I welcome all the members of the diplomatic corps. Thank you for coming. I believe this means Unilag is moving within the European Union in an accelerated fashion. We'll be talking more and doing more together. Members of the university management, the guest speaker, Professor Ibrahim Adeyanju, the chairman of the research firm, who is also the director of the research management office, Professor Kunuga, my dear colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 18th Unilag Annual Research Conference, ably themed The Future of Work. I need to move this. The future of work, education, and well-being in the AI age. I had a written speech, but I have thrown that out. I want to speak to us. AI is a tool. AI is the present, and certainly AI is the future. And it is going to affect our lives tremendously. Africa is just beginning to pick up AI. The young are doing it much better than the old. In the university, we must embrace it if we're to remain relevant. Let me take us back a bit. This is our research fair, and it is quite clear that at this time in our history, much more than many the previous, it is extremely important that research addresses national problems. In Africa, it is critical and it is it will be an existential threat. Let me explain. University education is has been forever. Knowledge has advanced humanity, but knowledge was coming at a smooth pace. When we learn something, that knowledge is useful for the next 100 years. And so there was a time, if you were moving, you could read books. Books are usually 5 to 10 years out of date anyway. So you read the books, but it will still be relevant. Then books became almost outdated. Not even almost. Any information there is already old. Then we would read our journals. And that was great. Then the internet came. And a lot of knowledge started, being curated in the internet. And then it became clear that if you're looking for knowledge, there's so much there, but how do you get it out? Then AI would scour and give you something. And it would bring it out. So all sorts of other programs came up. But that wasn't enough. How did you make sense of all this information? So we have our generative AI and then make deductions. So what did we do? Some people start to use that. And we also had the challenge that plagiarism had now become a new form. So you just put things, you copy and paste. I mean, you write an essay and it could all be AI. Well, you can tell. However, the university is about knowledge generation. AI runs on knowledge. And what does that mean? It means that whoever puts the knowledge there, puts their thoughts, puts what matters to them in that pool. It also means it comes with their biases. And right now, the bias of the world in general is against Africa. It's changing. The narrative, we're the poor ones, the dark continent, we have challenges. We're almost always about challenges. But I know that in the universities and University of Lagos, we're creating solutions. However, there's no useful solution if it's not used. I read something this morning. Professors should forget about publications, and I'm sure you've seen it in social media, and be more about what was it? Nation building. It's not that we should not publish, but that our publications must matter. You can't just publish for what? You can't publish for promotion. It's almost a sacrilege. But you must publish for nation building, and that paper then gets you your promotion. Papers that don't matter are not useful. It's all about the scholarship, about the professionalism, about what we care about. And it has become absolutely essential. Otherwise, we will remain at the bottom of the food chain. There are many people, we have many excuses not to do good research. We have many excuses not to struggle so hard in that direction because it's sort of, it's not immediate gratification. But we owe it to ourselves to ensure that whenever we decide to apply our brain, let's not just apply it to anything. Let's apply it to something that starts a journey to real discovery and real problem solving. We actually don't have a choice if we are to remain relevant. Now, why am I saying that? Universities are not about teaching. They're about knowledge generation, and then we pass that knowledge to the next generation. That's the teaching part. It comes after the research. And research is not a buzzword. It's about finding solutions for your nation's problems. And it has become even more important that we join the race. It is accelerating at such a pace. We can't afford to be, for self-interest, we can't afford to be complacent. Technology has come in, AI has come in. So it's also a major opportunity because before it was difficult to get information. Now we have information. It can even help you understand some concepts that were difficult. And so we can leapfrog. But it's up to us. Depends on what we're looking at. You know, they say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The thing is, there's a lot of water out there. We must drink. And not only must we drink, we must water our plants. We must make sure that AI works for us in the area of food security, health, and certainly education and research is the engine. AI will deduct and deduce. However, we must give it the information from the African perspective. The things that matter to us must go into that knowledge. Right now, we don't show up too well. So we'll be taking things that others have done that matter to them. The beauty and our opportunity is really that Africa does not, at least you and I, our ordinary, we don't have the resources we have that we can use immediately are not that much. So our innovations are often for survival. And when we do, it goes worldwide, it's global, it's used. Why? Because often it addresses survival things that people need, and everybody's surviving. It's usually based on the fact that you don't have enough money. And there's nowhere in the world I know that you would not want something that's more cost efficient. So we have that and we have the talent. I see we innovate every day. We have the resilience. So what I'm going to say is as we go into this conference today, I want us to remember that our research, we must ask ourselves questions. And I'm looking forward to some of your presentations. For those who have identified solutions to things or started in that direction, I hope this will give you the impetus. You will talk to people, they would add to your thoughts, your ideas. For those who are developing things, don't get tired. As the DVC A&R said, the university has given out over, I think, 1 billion in research funds, and we still have. So we will help you along, apply for those. There are also lots of grants and research funding from the EU. We've been partnering with many of them, from the US, although those may be going, and also from Nigeria. But the bottom line is, what we do is teaching, research, and community development. Let's change it from service, development. And that has become absolutely critical if we're to remain relevant. AI will help us in that direction. It will propel us forward. So as we go through our 18th Unilag annual research conference, the future of work is in our hands. It's changing so rapidly. We must prepare our students for that future, although it's already here. AI will help you, but it's not a substitute for your brain. What you will do is use AI, add it to that huge brain power you all have, and move forward. We at the university have to remain very, very open to change. We have to be less conservative so that we actually are providing manpower for the future that is Nigeria's. Remember, average age of the Nigerian is 19. We, the teachers, have to work to their pace. So on that note, I wish us all a fantastic time together as we rub minds. And I use that to declare this conference open. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. I got so captivated that I forgot I was supposed to mount the podium. And I'm very sure that you would agree with me that all I said while introducing her was actually the truth. She got us all captivated without even reading from a prepared speech. Of course, as she said, Unilag is willing to help those who desire to undertake research. And that's what we do at RMO. In fact, we have a bi-weekly digest where we intimate researchers with grants that are on offer and scholarships at every point in time. So if you are not on that platform, please avail yourself with that opportunity. Now, we want to call on the keynote addresser, and we have in our midst today a well-grounded scholar who have excelled both in the academics and in the private sector. In fact, he's not like some of us, like the person standing before you, that all our schooling years were spent in Lagos State and not in Nigeria. He schooled both nationally and internationally. He is a professor, and his thesis, his doctoral research focused on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language. Before he will step out to give the keynote address titled The Future of Work, Education and Well-Being in the AI Age, I'm talking about Professor Ibrahim A. Adeyanju. But I will be calling on Dr. Ogochukwu Ameze to read his citation. Professor Adeyanju, please stand. Thank you. Professor Ibrahim A. Adeyanju is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Galaxy Backbone Limited, Nigeria's leading digital infrastructure and services company. He's a distinguished scholar, technology leader, and advocate for digital transformation. He brings over 2 decades of expertise in intelligent systems, artificial intelligence, and digital infrastructure development.
He holds a first-class bachelor's degree in computer engineering from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Lautech, Ogbomoso, and both MSc and PhD degrees in computing from Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, United Kingdom. His doctoral research focused on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing, followed by a prestigious postdoctoral fellowship in information retrieval funded by the United Kingdom Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council. I thought we would give an applause at this time. Professor Adeyanju has served in academia as a professor of intelligent systems and as the pioneer director of quality assurance at the Federal University, Oye Ekiti, before joining GBB in 2023 as executive director, digital exploration and technical services. On the 22nd of February 2024, he was appointed managing director, CEO of GBB, where he now leads the company's mandate of providing secure, reliable, and world-class digital services to the Nigerian government and private enterprises. Under his leadership, GBB manages the federal government's ICT infrastructure, powering the ongoing digitalization of the federal civil service. This includes a nationwide 5,000-kilometer fiber backbone spanning 28 states and 60 cities, a 1,200-kilometer metro fiber network in Abuja, 2 uptime certified Tier 3 data centers, a national shared services center, a 247 cybersecurity operations center, and a state-of-the-art network operations center enabling Nigeria's competitiveness in the global digital economy. Internationally recognized, Professor Adeyanju was among 200 young researchers globally selected to engage with Nobel laureates in mathematics and computer science at the inaugural Heidelberg Laureates Forum in Germany in 2013. He also undertook a fellowship at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, sponsored by Total Upstream Limited. Over the years, he has received numerous academic and professional awards, including the Stephen Awokoya Scholarship for Science Education, the Petroleum Technology Development Fund Scholarship, and the UK Overseas Research Students Award. He's a registered computer engineer with Koren and a fellow of the Nigerian Young Academy. Professor Adeyanju continues to contribute to knowledge through his research and publications in peer-reviewed journals, with a focus on intelligent systems and embedded achievements and embedded systems. Beyond his professional achievements, Professor Adeyanju is passionate about leveraging technology as a driver of economic transformation, positioning Nigeria as a hub for innovation, connectivity, and digital excellence on the global stage. He is happily married with children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to us Professor Ibrahim Adeyanju.
Good morning. Sorry. Good morning. The chief hosts of today's event, the Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Dr. Folashade Ogunshola, Your Excellencies, ambassadors from the European Union, the principal officers of the university, directors, other professors here present, greatest accountants, ladies and gentlemen. So good morning. It's a great honor and it is distinct privilege to address this esteemed gathering of academics, researchers, and thought leaders at the University of Lagos 18th Annual Research Conference. Now, I've been asked to speak on I think I retitled it just a bit, but it's the future of work, education, and well-being in the age of AI. So I've retitled it slightly as the future of work in the AI age, navigating disruption, fostering well-being, education, and building a digital nation.
Now, let's cast our minds back to 20, 25 years ago. Could we have imagined a young person, maybe there in Yaba, or probably in Gwagwalada, or let's say even in Kano, that would build a startup, secure funding from Silicon Valley, and serve customers across the globe, Europe, America, and Asia, all without needing a visa? Could you have predicted that pop taxis will become aspirational titles, symbols of a new Nigerian dream? Have you heard of startups like Flutterwave, Andela, MoneyPoint, InterSwitch, OP, among others? These are unicorn startups founded by Nigerians while they were in Nigeria before they became a global brand. We're actually moving through a revolution, and that's the digital revolution. Moving from digital revolution, we have a more powerful wave upon us, the age of AI. Sometimes I reflect back on AI and I maybe look back to 20 years ago while doing my master's. And yes, even while we were in school, we learned about AI. But we're learning about AI in theory. Now the AI has become more practicable, right? In those days, we used to talk about machine learning, data mining, and the likes. Today, we are talking about AI. What will we be talking about in 50 years' time? So today, I want to talk about this new frontier, not with fear, but with a clear-eyed vision for Nigeria. So we'll be looking at 3 or 4 critical pillars. We'll be looking at the disruption AI will bring, the imperative of well-being. We'll look at the impact of AI on education, and ultimately, we'll look at how to build a truly inclusive and prosperous Nigeria digitally. So let's start with the navigating disruption, the Nigerian opportunity. Now, for too long, the conversation around AI and the future of work has been dominated by a binary question. Can anybody get that question? So the question has been, will robots take our jobs? Now, unfortunately, this is a limiting and unproductive perspective. The more profound reality is that AI is fundamentally redefining the nature of work itself, creating a symbiotic relationship between human intelligence and machine efficiency. Like Avisi said, we have that big human intelligence brain. We expect AI to complement, to make us better. To be frank, AI will definitely disrupt our activities. It will automate tasks that return to a uniquely human, from data analysis to customer service, from content creation to even preliminary medical diagnosis. This can become frightening. Fortunately for us in Nigeria, we have a large youthful population eager for jobs. So the question is, will AI take away these jobs? So I want to propose a different question. What if AI becomes the most powerful employee that Nigeria never knew it needed? Let's think about our greatest challenges. We'll look at 3 areas briefly. In agriculture, AI-powered tools can analyze satellite imagery and soil data to tell a farmer in Nasarawa, in Kebbi, even in Lagos, the optimal day to plant, the precise amount of fertilizer to use, and predict pest outbreaks. This isn't replacing the farmer, of course. It's empowering them to be more productive and profitable. Let's look at healthcare. Imagine an AI assistant that helps a single doctor in a rural clinic in Sokoto
far north to diagnose common ailments, cross-reference symptoms with a global database, and manage patient records. This does not replace the medical doctor. It makes them more efficient and extend quality health care to millions of Nigerians. In governance, AI can streamline our civil service, reducing bureaucratic bottlenecks and corruption by automating transparent processes for permits, for licenses, and payments. Today, there are lots of payments collected by, in quotes, government officials that doesn't go into the government purse. So AI is already automating repetitive data-intensive tasks across several sectors. And it is not about human replacement. It's about human augmentation. It frees up our most valuable assets, that's our human capital, to focus on the higher level, strategic and creative functions. In this new landscape, the value of uniquely human attributes like emotional intelligence, critical thinking, problem solving, and collaborative leadership will become better. The challenge before us is to prepare our workforce for this new reality. And this requires a fundamental shift in our educational and training paradigms. We must pivot from a knowledge-based model which focuses on memorizing facts, that's regurgitation, to a skill-based one which fosters lifelong learning and adaptability. This disruption is not a tsunami to be survived. It's a tool to be wielded. Our focus must not be on preserving old jobs, but on creating new ones. We must become AI prompt engineers, data ethicists, machine learning specialists, and the creator of AI solutions for Nigerian and African problems. Our vibrant tech ecosystem, our Silicon Lagoon, have already proven that we can innovate for our context. Now we must scale that spirit to embrace AI. The foundational layers of AI development are built upon core infrastructure, connectivity, and the transformative power of AI applications. Usually when we talk of AI, we need a foundation. Now that foundation starts from the baseline, which is connectivity. From connectivity, we talk about storage. That's where our data centers come in. And then we need the applications to drive our AI initiatives. Together, these elements will drive our economic growth, enable AI applications in sectors such as healthcare, finance, and contribute to sustainable societal progress. Now, the challenge before us is not technological, but human. We must prepare our workforce for this new reality by shifting, like I said earlier, from a knowledge-based educational model to a skills-based educational model. The evolving landscape is characterized by progression from traditional work to AI augmentation to skills-based education and ultimately to a future where human attributes and the symbiotic relationship with AI will take center stage. Now let's look at the fostering well-being, the human-centered approach. A prosperous nation is not measured by GDP alone. It is measured by the well-being of its people. As we race into the AI future, we cannot leave our humanity behind. The future of work will be hybrid, remote, and global. A developer here in Yaba can work for a firm in Berlin, Germany. This is incredible. But it also brings the risk of isolation, digital burnout, and a blurring of lines between work and life. As we embrace the promise of AI for productivity and efficiency, we must also address its profound impact on human well-being. The perpetual connectivity enabled by technology has blurred the line between our professional and personal lives, leading to new forms of burnout, digital fatigue, and mental stress. We must be intentional about using AI as a tool to create balance, not demand constant performance. And this means designing AI systems that promote healthier work habits, automate mundane tasks to free up time for creative pursuits, and even assist in mental health support and personalized education. The ethical dimensions are equally critical. Issues of privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for a surveillance culture are not just technical, they are matters of social justice and human dignity. A future with a high well-being is one where technology is a source of empowerment and connection, not a tool for control. It's our collective responsibility to ensure that the data systems we build and deploy are transparent, fair, and accountable to the people we serve. Furthermore, if we are not careful, AI could exacerbate our existing inequalities. The digital divide between urban and rural areas, between the educated and the not educated. Therefore, fostering well-being in the age of AI requires a new social contract. The new social contract should include the following. Number one, lifelong learning. Lifelong learning should no longer be a slogan. It's a national security imperative. We must reskill and upskill at a national scale. Our educational institutions, from primary, secondary to tertiary, must be overhauled. We need to teach critical thinking, creativity, and emotional intelligence. These are skills that AI cannot easily replicate. We need coding boot camps, digital literacy camps. This must become as common as cyber cafes well in those days. In those days when connectivity was not pervasive, I remember those days for some of us, you'd have to go overnight to cyber cafe to go and browse for materials, for research, and all that. Number two, we must invest in our digital public infrastructure, reliable electricity, and affordable internet are not luxuries. These are the oxygen of a digital nation. We need policies that treat them. And the third part of the social contract is that we must champion mental and social health. Companies and governments must have policies that protect against burnout, promote digital detox, and foster community in a remote world. The quality of your work should matter more than the number of hours you are logged in. So we're moving to an age where it's not just about 8 to 5, it's not about maybe 9 to 6, it's about the quality of your work. I'll move a bit faster. So let's move on to building our digital nation, the Nigerian model. We are not just preparing for the future of work, we are preparing and actively building a digital nation. A digital nation is more than an economy in tech sectors. It's a society where digital identity, digital payments, and digital access to government services are seamless. It's a nation where a farmer in Makurdi, an artist in Lagos, and a student in Kano can all fully participate in the global digital economy. A nation's ability to navigate the AI age is intrinsically linked to the strength of the digital infrastructure and the foresight of its government policy. At Galaxy Backbone, we recognize this and are committed to building the foundational pillars of Nigeria's national AI readiness. AI has the potential to revolutionize industries such as healthcare, agriculture, education, and finance, but requires a solid foundation of infrastructure to truly thrive. This includes high-performance computing, secure data storage, cloud services, and reliable connectivity. At Galaxy Backbone, we have made, of course, based on government investments, significant strides in building some of this essential infrastructure. We have over 1 petabytes of storage for AI projects in Nigeria, providing essential capacity to store and process vast amounts of data that AI requires. Our CF4 data center in Abuja, in Kano actually, offers a secure and scalable environment that ensures the reliability of this system. Furthermore, we are working with our partners from Korea to build what we call the government service portal that will transform government services are delivered by providing a streamlined and secure platform for data exchange and improving decision making. No single entity can build this infrastructure in isolation. Collaboration between the public and private sectors is essential to drive innovation and build the technical expertise needed for growth. A prime example of this is the Pilot Compute Program, which is backed by 21st Century Technologies to invest over $2 million in procuring GPUs for our data center. This investment will significantly boost Nigeria's AI capabilities by providing the necessary processing power for AI projects. Moreover, we are partnering with 21st Century Technologies to develop Nigeria's national compute projects, which will accelerate AI initiatives of national. This compute infrastructure will be housed in our national data center and made accessible to local researchers, startups, and government entities. While we have made substantial progress, challenges remain in ensuring that rural areas are not left behind. Inadequate electricity and internet connectivity in remote areas continue to hinder the widespread adoption of AI. To address these gaps, Galactic Backbone is committed to expanding its infrastructure to underserved and unserved areas. Initiatives such as the government's data exchange, supported by international collaboration, I'm happy to inform us that we are looking at using one of the platforms from Europe, that's the X Road from Estonia for the GDX. And that will provide the necessary infrastructure for projects like smart agriculture, helping farmers optimize their resources and improve food security. As AI becomes more integrated into our daily lives, the need to secure AI infrastructure grows even more critical. AI systems handle vast amounts of sensitive data, making them prime targets for cyber attacks. To safeguard these systems, Galaxy Backbone has made significant investments in cybersecurity through our cybersecurity operating system operation center. We as a service that SOC as a service, as well as the public key infrastructure developed in partnership with our partners, Accendit. Accendit is actually a company from Poland as well. These services protect the integrity and reliability of our AI systems, building the trust essential for their widespread acceptance. Now, Nigeria is uniquely positioned to lead this AI charge in Africa based on the following parameters. The first one is our demographic dividend. We are a nation of young, hungry, and digitally native creators. Our music, our films, our fashion, our soft power is already a global force. Now we must channel that creative energy into building digitally or digital public goods and global tech giants. Our Africanness is also an advantage. We understand complexity, we are resilient. One question I've always asked myself is you have somebody finish from Nigerian University making a second class, lower, third class, and then they go for their masters abroad and they top their class, they make a distinction. What makes the difference? It's probably because they've learned that resilience from the undergraduate here in Nigeria. They've learned some hardship, of course, with complexity. We are entrepreneurial by necessity as well. These are the very skills needed to thrive in the AI age. We can build AI contextual, empathetic, and solve real-world problems. A call to collaborative leadership. Building this digital nation cannot be left to the government alone or to the private sector. It requires a tripartite alliance between the government, the private sector, as well as academia and civil society. Government must be the visionary enabler, creating forward-looking policies, investing in infrastructure, and ensuring data protection and ethical AI. The private sector must be the engine of innovation and investment, creating the jobs and platforms of the future. The academia and civil society must be the conscience and talent pipeline, focusing on research, education, and holding all of us accountable for an equitable future. I have something on education here. I think I will be brief about that. Now, the future of education in the AI age is a fundamental shift from a model of knowledge transmission to one of skills and character cultivation. It's about moving from what to learn to how to think and who to become. Education will no longer be about accumulating information. AI will be the world's most powerful librarian. Apologies, I'm guessing librarian. AI will be the world's most powerful researcher. Apologies, director of research. AI will be the world's most powerful fact checker. Apologies to our media team. Available to every student. Therefore, the goal of education shifts from knowing or the vegetation of memorizing to understanding, to applying, and to creating. We'll be moving from the physical classroom to the virtual classroom. So during the age of AI, we'll be looking at personalized and adaptive learning paths. We're looking at project-based and authentic learning. We'll be looking at focusing on creation over consumption, where students will be assessed not only on their ability to regurgitate facts, but on what they can create a business plan, a software application, a work of art, a scientific hypothesis using AI as a collaborative tool. During the age of AI, we should be looking at the new curriculum, a new curriculum that will focus on human skills. The curriculum of the future will be built around skills that AI complements but cannot replicate. So we can think of this as what we call the human skills. And this will include critical thinking and problem formulation, creativity and synthesis, emotional intelligence and collaboration, digital fluency and AI literacy, among others, as well as adaptability and lifelong learning. So what will be the role of us teachers and lecturers in the future of AI? Of course, our teachers, our lecturers are the irreplaceable human elements. Teachers will become more important, not less, but their roles will evolve into the role of a mentor and a coach, providing personalized guidance, motivation, and support. Our teachers will become curators of learning experiences, designing rich and designing rich project-based curricula that leverage AI tools. Our teachers will become facilitators of discussion and debate, leading Socratic dialogues on ethics, philosophy, and the implication of technology. Also, our teachers will become nurturers of soft skills, fostering empathy, collaboration, and resilience in the classroom. Of course, there are challenges when it comes to education. The future is not automatic. We must proactively address significant challenges. And this includes the following. And the first one is the equity gap. When it comes to the future with AI, there is a great danger of digital divide between those with access to advanced AI tools and education and those without. So we need to ensure equitable access to AI tools. The second challenge is the issue of academic integrity and assessment. The use of using AI to complete our assignments will force a complete overhaul of assessment. The focus will shift to process and presentation, oral defense, and in class creation, making plagiarism irrelevant. We also need to look at the challenge of data privacy and bias. Protecting our student data used by AI platforms is crucial. Furthermore, we must teach students to recognize and counteract the inherent biases that can exist in AI models. The last challenge is the human connection. Education is not just about cognitive skills. It's about socialization. It's about building community. So we need to look at the role of the school as a physical space for human interaction, and this will remain very vital. So where do we go from here? The future is not a destination we arrive at. It's a creation that we build. The AI age is not a threat to Nigeria's potential. It is a very amplifier that we need to unlock it. Let us not be passive passengers on this journey. Let us be architects. Let us be engineers. Let us be the artists of our own destiny. Let us navigate the disruption with courage, turning challenges into our greatest opportunities. Let us foster well-being with compassion, ensuring that no Nigerian is left behind in this digital race. And together, let us build a digital nation that is not just a copy of others, but a unique, vibrant, and prosperous model for Africa and the world. A nation powered by technology, but driven by the relentless, innovative, and unyielding spirit of Nigerian people. Thank you. I think you've just done your own applause. I will need another one applause for this wonderful presentation. I do want to say more specifically that we do appreciate your linguistic competence, your communicative competence, your discourse analysis competence, and delivering this keynote address. We are really appreciative of what you have done here today. We also know that you have also provided a contextual, content-specific effort of the Galaxy Backbone. We really appreciate your efforts. God continue to bless you. And on this note, once again, I want you to really appreciate him. With a warm round of applause for this wonderful lecture. Uh, he has just set the stage for this research conference. And I must say, I'd like to call on our own future ready Vice Chancellor, who, in our own imaginativeness, in our own proactiveness, has made us to understand that the future is here and we need to start walking the talk. May I invite the Vice Chancellor of our neighboring university, University of Lagos, University of First Choice, and the nation's pride, Professor Folasha Adeti to give our closing remarks on this wonderful keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you. You will agree with me that Professor Adeyoju has not only explained to us what to expect with AI, he has also challenged us. And from his lecture, it is very clear that the way we've been doing it is not going to work for the future. And we have to change the way we do things. I was particularly interested in its application to education and health. So for a fact, I think what we're hearing is the knowledge exists. So giving the fundamentals is not the issue. What matters is what we do with the information. And that we as lecturers have to move away from this concept that we're sharing knowledge. It's there. It's on the internet. AI has it. So the question will then be in the future, if we don't change, why should anybody come to university? AI is there. AI has made deductions. So we have to rethink why we are lecturers. Otherwise, we'll soon be totally irrelevant. And so, but there is also, as I say, or as he's told us, AI needs data. Otherwise, it remains as old data. It guzzles data. It guzzles information. Now, there's something our job will then be to ensure that the information is truth. There's a saying that says information is very everywhere, it's cheap, but the truth is difficult and expensive because you have to verify. Anybody can put anything on social media. It doesn't have to be true. So you get lots of garbage. So our job will then be, we'll be the people to ensure that what is there is clean and is right and is as close to the true north as possible. So we have to start to rethink who we are as lecturers. We've been called lecturers for a long time. And it started in the ancient times when we sat there and people sit at our feet. You know, people at that time were the only ones that could read, so we taught them. Then they all learned, so we all shared the books. Then the knowledge was gated because it was coming out piecemeal, and it was at our conferences where we then pronounced the next thing, and we struggled to get the next one, takes time. AI and the internet and technology have changed that. Now, knowledge is democratized. But the problem, plenty of knowledge. What sense do we make of that? AI is also helping us to make sense, but it will make mistakes. So our job then is data production and teaching those we have with us how to produce data, because there's still so much to understand about the world. We have to lead that. Some things AI will do, some things it cannot. And it's that place that we make our niche. And I think that's what I hear from you. And that's the challenge to us. Those who don't change get overtaken and made irrelevant. So the problem is change is hard. Irrelevance is harder. Choose your heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The Vice Chancellor is always full of amazement and full of great elocution. I do appreciate that for all I know. In the University of Lagos, we pride ourselves as the best and noble in all we do. And so, on that note, we have a special gift for our keynote address speaker who has just spoken to us. I'd love to invite the Vice Chancellor once again to present this special award to our guest speaker, who has dazzled us, who has really treated us with this keynote address. Thank you.
Professor Adeyon, thank you very much for this lecture. Can I have this lecture? Thank you very much for the lecture and for challenging us. I believe I can truthfully say on behalf of all my colleagues here that don't worry, we've taken that challenge. In fact, we had taken it earlier and we're running with it. All you've done is put more fire to us. Am I right?
You're very correct.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and we do appreciate the Vice Chancellor for this global deed of us. And we also do appreciate all of those who have stood by to ensure that this lecture becomes a success story. And we really appreciate each and every one of us at this time. Moving on, we'd like to go to the next session, which is the photograph session. And that will be outside, and it's going to be a session. We will have a session with our international partners who are here with us, and we have a session for all participants, as well as we have a session for all our principal guests, including the university management staff. And all of this is what we're doing. And so, for us to go out, we'd like to call on the media team to play the Unilag anthem as we move out to take the photograph. Thank you so much. Can we be standing as the Yeah, thank you so much. As we go out, let me also remind us that after the photograph session, we go for a tea break. That is important to me. I don't know of another person. And so when we get back, we have to convert back here for pushing so that we can have information as to our parallel sessions. Thank you so much. The tea break is time.